All right. So, good evening, everybody. What is that I was asking you to work on yesterday? Sorry? Reset password. Reset password. Okay. So, I guess reset password is done. Yes? Okay. Now, I want you to reset password or update password, similar to that is what I asked. Anyways, uh, I hope you have all created the login page, right? Registration, adding the user is over. You gave the input, connected it to a servlet called the user DAO implementation insert method. You were able to insert the data. Now, what I want to do is I want to perform login. I guess login was not over. No. Only the front end file I asked you to work. Right? Only the front end is ready now. Right? So let us assume I have one file here. Hello. So the name of the file is, let's assume it is login.html. So I have a login file called as the login.html where I will ask email and password to be entered. So the user will enter the email, the user will enter the password, and the user will click on one submit button or login button, I will say. So once the user is going to click on this login button, what should happen? See, I will go to one servlet. Right, let us assume this is a servlet which I will write it as login.java. When the user clicks here, control should come here. Hello? See here, for this email is the variable name, password is the variable name, let's assume. So I will collect this email, I will collect this password. And now I want to check, if you remember the login, I checked if email ID is really present in the database. In order to do it, let us assume I have my database here. So somebody has to talk to my database. Who is the person? Already I have written one class, sir. Who is doing all this work? Who is it? User DAO implementation. Will you agree with me? So I will say here, boss, so I will say here, I have one class which is user DAO implementation, right? So user DAO IMPL dot Java. In this, you have one method which is going to fetch the data based on email. I guess you have written it by using ID. I want you to change it to email. What is it? Let's assume fetch specific by email or by ID, whatever you have written. I want you to change it to email. What will it do is it will go to the database. I mean login.java will call this method fetch specific on whatever the email that it has collected here, right? Now control will come here to this method. What should this method do now? It will go to the database, it will fetch the data. What is the query that you would have written here? Select star from user where email is equal to question mark. Will you agree with me? This is what you would have written. If you write this, what is going to happen? One user object you would get. I guess if you remember, I took all that data, I created one object of user. So you have one user object. What is this U? U is of type user class. So user.java I will have one user type U. Now this user type U, if you remember the method, it would have returned it. So this user object, I will send it back here, which means your login.java is going to collect this user object. Hello? Sir, I have one user object, sir. What do I want to do now? See, based on email, I understood, yes, data is there in the table. Now I want to see if really this data is having the same password the user has entered. Yes or no? For this, what should I do, sir? For this, I will now check if user.password, does it match with password the user has entered? Whatever the password the user has entered and whatever the password that is there in the user object, maybe for color I would write it like this. This is the password the user has entered. This is the password that my user object is having. If it is matching, what does it mean? Login is successful. Yes or no? If login is successful, I will call one page, which I will call it as home.jsp. See, tell me one thing. When you log into any application, assume that you will open Instagram, you will enter your email ID, password. If you enter it correctly, will it say a very good success? It will show you a home page, a feed page. That is what I am writing here, home page. Why is it JSP file, sir? Because data should be dynamically changing for me here. Every time do you want to see the same message? It should keep changing dynamically, sir. That is the reason I will say home.jsp like this. Is this clear? Hello? Can I try writing this? In failure time, I will call failure.html or some page where I will say doesn't match, you have to re-register or whatever. Can we try doing this? Hello? Okay. So, see, login, I will do it. Maybe one or two features till you understand, I will do it. After that, I will ask you to do it. Right? Okay. Tell me now, I will get into my project now. So, I will close all of this. Okay. So, I will right click, I will tell it as a new, the name of the project, I mean dynamic web project or Maven project, what do you want? I will say a Maven project. Next, create a simple Maven project. Next, com.food app. Right, so it is a where packaging is what I will use, and I will tell it here as a finish. So you can see food app is a project that I have created now. Right click. What is the first file? HTML. If you want, you can use HTML, or if you want, you can now switch to JSP, because in JSP also anyways HTML code you can write it. So I will use login.jsp file. Right? So in login.jsp, what will you include? So I will write here as login page, something that I will write. So there is a problem for your file. Right click, properties, targeted runtimes, select it, apply and close it. So anyways, what is it? I have a login page where I am saying here I want a form. Inside the form I will say email. I will ask for email by saying input type is equal to text, name is equals to email. In the same way, I will ask for password. I'll use a break tag. Here I will say password input. Let me just copy paste it. Copy this, paste it below, paste it again. Here it is password and the name is password. Input type is equal to submit and value is equals to login. Sir, now you are going to click on this login button. Where should the control go? I will call the action as login servlet. So I'll have to close the double quotes here. Okay. So I'll now right click. I will tell I need a new servlet and the name of the servlet is inside. Maybe com.foodapp.controller. See, as of now I told you what is controller. Maybe I will not be in a position to tell you what is controller. You can use any package name, but all the servlets create inside this package name. Later I will tell you why is it called controller, then you can rename. Right? Okay, com.foodapp.controller. What is the class name? It is login servlet. Okay. Sir, I have a login servlet file. Whatever is there inside this, I will just remove away. If I go into my file which is called as the web.xml, you would already see for login servlet, there is one mapping which is already ready. Because in Maven, automatically the mapping it is going to do. Okay, sir, now I will have one method here called as the service method. See, in the service method, what do I need? Will my service method, will my servlet interact with the database? Servlet will not interact. User DAO implementation will interact. My servlet is only going to get the data, give it to user DAO implementation. Yes or no? So I will write here by saying, okay, service method, what data you want? You want email, password. So I will say here a string, email is equals to request.getParameter of email. In the same way, string password is equals to request.getParameter of password. Alright. Okay, sir. Email and password is over. What next? Once the email and password is over, now I need user DAO implementation. Right. So, is there any project here by name Foodapp or whatever? No. Is there a Foodapp here? Tab foods, I have it. I will go here, SRC, DAO, I have user DAO implementation. I'll just copy both of them. Come back here under SRC main Java. I'm going to paste it. So you can see here, I have com.foodapp DAO implementation. Sorry, that I'll have to put it under Foodapp. I'll put it under Foodapp. So you can see here I have controller. Under controller I have login. Then I have DAO. There is an error because user class I don't have. User class I will create. And DAO implementation also will have an error because I don't have user class. So let me go to the project and get the user class also. Model class. This is my model class. user, uh, I will just copy the class called as user. Here I will now create a new package under food app, new other package com.foodapp.model I will call. Inside this I will paste that particular class. Now one small thing is, okay, I will go to this user DAO implementation. I'll say Control Shift O. Foodapp.model.user is what I want to use, and then package DAO implementation. I'm changing this package to, okay, this was Staff Foods, but I want it as food app, so I will change it to food app. Now I will just save it, add unimplemented methods. Okay, I'll go to the user DAO. Here also I will change it to food app. Okay, save it. Import user from com.foodapp.model.user. Okay, now save it. There is some error. Okay, DB utils for the database connectivity. So one additional class is what I had created. I will go here to this project. Where is this project? Where is the DB utils package? I have com.tabfoods and whatever. I will bring it inside com.foodapp. I'll just paste it here. So I will rename this package as com.foodapp.dbutils. So I'll just save it. I'll go to this dbutils. Okay, no problem in dbutils. The problem is in DAO implementation. I will import it correctly. Now it is gone. Right? Okay, sir. If you see here, hello. Where is it? Get user by email ID. I have a method where I am trying to get the user based on an email ID. So I'll go to this DB utils. Maybe I will change the database. Is it the correct database? Online food delivery. Okay, online food delivery tables, user table. Okay, user, everything is correct. So maybe I will use this only. Okay. Now tell me, what should your login servlet do? It should call one method. Which method? Get user. Where is it present? User DAO implementation. See, another thing that I have done here is connection. I did not put it inside a static block. I put it inside a constructor of user DAO implementation. Why? Sir, if you want to call any method in user DAO implementation, you will create user DAO implementation object. Why will I not create? How will you call it? Are the methods static methods? No. If they are not static methods, you have to create an object of user DAO implementation. See, child class, that is implementing class object, you will refer it with interface reference. But object of user DAO implementation only you will create. When you are creating the object, will you call this constructor? Yes. That is the reason I have written the connection here. I hope you are able to understand this. If you are writing it in the static block also, no problem. But if you face some difficulty, you can switch to constructor. That's all. So I will come here, I will create an object of new user DAO implementation. I will create an object of new user DAO implementation where I will say UDAO. What is UDAO? User DAO I will call. And now I will import user DAO implementation. Tell me, which method should I call now? Get user method. So I will say user UDAO dot get user of email ID. What will this give me? Get user of email ID. What will it give me? Look at this Get user method. See here, get user method will go to the database, it will fetch the result set. And out of this result set, you are creating an object of user. Maybe we did not write it like this. I will show you what we have written. I would have told here as user is equals to new user object of using the result set. I will pass some data. Result set is there. What is there in result set now? I would have got a user ID, username, password, email, address, role, everything. Select star is only what I have written. Look at this query here. Select on email. Select star from user where email ID is equal to question mark. So I want to create an object of user. What all data you want to pass now? Look at this. Maybe I will show you the user class. You may understand it with the user class. So this is my user class. Okay. Let me change it. Done. Save it. See here, user constructor. There is one constructor accepting user ID, username, email, password, address. There is one more constructor, username, email, password, address. This information is sufficient for me. So I will say here in user DAO implementation, what is the information that I want? Let me just have it like this. See here, I want username, email, password, address. So from the result set is what I want to get. I will say here as result set dot get string of. What is the string? What is the name? Username is the column name. So I will say here as username, comma, result set, user name for this, comma, result set dot, what is the second information? Email, get string of email. Yes or no? What is the name? Email only. Then I want password. So I will say here as result set dot get string of password. Right? Okay sir, password I have got. What next? Address also I want. So I will append to it by saying result set dot get string of address. Is this clear? Hello? Sir, now all this information I am going to bring, I am going to create an object of user inside my user DAO implementation. What will I do with this user object? I am returning this user object. Where will it be returned? It will be returned to the login servlet. Will you agree with me? In login servlet I will say, boss, collect user type user. I will import the user class from com.foodapp.model.user. Are you able to understand this? What do I want to do now, sir? I want to see whether user object is present or not. Is it guarantee that you will have user object? Sometimes in the result set, maybe if I just have to tell you here, I have got result set, I will say while result set dot next, if it is true, I will say return this user, correct? If it is true, create this user and return this user. If it is false, what will happen? If this result set is not having some data, it will simply return user. What is there in this user object? See here on the top. Is there any data? But what type of variable is this user? It is a reference variable which will now be treated as an instance. Instance values will be given null values. So null value will be returned to you. If you try doing something with this, it will say null pointer exception. I want to make sure this is not null. So I will go to my login servlet. I will say if user not equal to null. Sir, if user is not equal to null, what to do we will see. But what if user is null? Which means whatever email ID you have entered is not there in database. What do you want to do? Register, sir. I will ask the user to register. So I will say here as response dot send redirect to register dot HTML. It is again up to you whether you want to use HTML or JSP. So register.jsp. Anyways, register page already you have created. Yes. Okay, sir. Now if user is not null, what will you do, sir? User is not null. Sorry? Password I need to check now, sir. Yes or no? How will I check the password? I will say if what? Whatever the password the user has entered. Is this password equals what? There is one user object. From this user object, get the password and check. I hope you are able to understand this. If password dot equals user dot get password. If both of them are same, what should I do? I need to redirect to home page. Correct? Now I will say here as response dot send redirect. Where do you want to send the redirect to? Home dot JSP. Okay, sir. In the else case, sir, if password is mismatched, what should I do? Maybe I will redirect by saying incorrect password. I will call incorrect password dot JSP. Is that clear? So either it is home dot JSP or incorrect password dot JSP. Is that clear? Okay. Now I will not create home and all of it. Let me try to log in. Later I will create whatever files I want. Okay. So I will now just save my code. I will go to my login.jsp. I will run my code. You can see here. Always finish. Restart the server. Okay, restart it. Okay. So you can see here I am asking, it is asking me to enter email and password. I will enter some email here where I will say email ID is akhil12345678@gmail.com. Password, I will copy paste this password as 123. Tell me one thing, do I have an user with user ID or email ID as akhil12345678? I don't have it. So if I don't have it, what will happen? Look at your login servlet. If user is null, what will happen? Register.jsp it should call now. Will you agree? You can see here I will now click on login. It is saying boss register.jsp is not found. I did not create it, but correctly it is calling register.jsp. Will you agree? Okay, sir. In the same way, now I will enter akhil@gmail.com correctly. Password something I will enter. Now what it will call? Incorrect password. Will you agree? Let me log in. When I log in, it will say, again it is saying register only. Let me refresh. AKHIL, what is it? akhil@gmail.com. Password, some password I will write. If I click on login, it is again saying register only. Why? Some problem here, yes. Jar, null pointer exception because connection is null. Why? Maven project in the pom.xml, did I add the dependency? MySQL dependency, we did not add it. If I did not add, connection will obviously be null because it is not able to connect. So I will create here as dependencies. Okay, dependencies is what I'll create. I'll go to my Maven dependency now, or Maven repository, mvn repository.com. What is the dependency? MySQL connector. I will select the first one, 8.0.32. Copy this, come back to my project, paste it here, save it, right click on my project, Maven, update project, update my project. Okay, required things are downloaded. Stop, server is stopped. Rerun the server now. Okay, now you can see I will enter correct email ID, password, something I will enter. Now what should it tell? Invalid. Incorrect password. So you can see incorrect password.jsp is what it is doing. Now I will go back. I will enter correct password 123. Now what should it do? Home page. Let me log in. It is asking for home.jsp. So I will go back. I will create home.jsp in my project. I'll right click. I'll say a new file. What is the name of the file? Home.jsp. In this home.jsp, I will say here as a h1 tag, welcome to home. I'll now just save it, go back to my browser, refresh it. You can see you are getting welcome to home. Till here correct? All clear till here? But I don't want to display welcome to home. I want to display name of the user. I want to display name of the user. How will I display the name of the user? Sorry? Sir, create one session. Put details into the session. Call it here. Can I do it? How? I want you to help me. Where should I create a session? Login servlet, okay. Before going to home.jsp, what do you want? Session is equal to request dot get session, correct? Okay, I will create this as a field, HTTP session I have created. Now tell me, what do you want to add? I want to add the username. So I will say here as session dot set attribute. What is the attribute? Name. Where is the name? Sir, in user you write get username and write it, sir. Correct? Now what will I do? Sir, the same thing you copy, come to your JSP. In JSP you say welcome Akhil to home, or whatever is the name of the user I want to display. So how will I get the data? Session dot get attribute of username. If I write it like this, will it work? Why? You should write it inside a tag. What tag? Scriptlet tag. So I will cut this from here and I will say scriptlet tag session dot get attribute of username. Let me try to run this now. So I'll go to login.jsp, rerun my application. Email ID is what it will ask. I will enter akhil@gmail.com, password 123. If I log in, welcome to home is what it is saying. Where is it? There is some error. Console. No error. Where is my home.jsp? Scriptlet tag. session dot get ATTRIBUT. Method name is also correct. I have written this, but tell me whatever the data I have got, don't you feel I should print this data? Out dot println, there was somebody here who told out dot println of username. I hope you are able to understand. Now I will go back, stop my server, rerun it. So you can see here, I'll go to the browser, go back, refresh, akhil@gmail.com, 123 is the password, login. You can see it is saying welcome null. Why is it saying null? Name, is it? Oh, I guess yes. Here in the servlet, I have told it as name, but username is what I have in my JSP file. I am calling it as username. I should call it as name. This is what I told you. Your JSPs and your advanced Java will give you only null data. It will not give you any error. So go back, refresh, welcome Akhil to home page. Right? Is this clear? One thing. See here, I'll just copy this. I'll just come back. I'll stop this server. I will now maybe assume what I want. Tell me what is that I am displaying here? Only name I am displaying. What if I decide to display email ID? What if I decide to display password? What if I want address? Sir, very simple, sir. You create session.set attribute of email, session.set attribute of address, session.set attribute of password. Correct? Yes or no? Instead of doing all of this, can I simply say session.set attribute of user object? The object of user completely I will set. So you can see here, I will go to my login servlet. Hello? I'll go to my login servlet. Here I will say, boss, I am going to set user object completely. I will set the user object completely. Any confusion here? Hello? No confusion? Sure? Okay, sir. What will I do at the sessions, at the home.jsp, sir? In the home.jsp, let's assume, before I come to this welcome page and all of it, I will use this scriptlet tag here before the welcome page. I will say in the scriptlet tag, what do you want? From the session, I want to bring some information. What information do you want to bring? User information completely. So I will say here as session dot get attribute. What is the attribute? User. Whatever this user object. What is this user? It is an object of a user class. Will you agree with me? I will store it inside one reference variable u. When I try to store it inside a reference variable u, it is giving me an error. Why? It is saying, boss, you are saying u. What is u? U is of type user. Now, when I say u is of type user, there is an error. Why? Sir, this user, somewhere in some package it is present, sir. You now need to import it. For importing, what should I use? Directive tag, you remember? I will go on the top here. Here I will say left angular parenthesis percentage @ import. Sorry, it's page import or import. Let me just check. Import page. What is it? Where is your user present? It is present inside com.foodapp.model.user. So I will write here as com.foodapp.model.user. Cannot be resolved to a type. Page import is what I believe in that case. Okay. So now you can see. But again it is giving me an error. Why? Session.set attribute, what will it give you? Sorry, session.get attribute. It will give you object. Object is of parent type. You are trying to store it inside user which is of child type. Parent object. Can you refer it with child object? Child reference? What should you do? Downcast it. You need to say, boss, I know I will get an object, but for time being, can I treat it as user? Is this clear? And now you have the user object. Now you want to print the data. Tell me what will you do? Here I will include a scriptlet where I will say out.println. What do you want to print? U dot get user name. Sorry, you get user name. I am going to print it. Any confusion here? Hello? Can I try to run this and see? Let me run my code now. Okay, email ID akhil@gmail.com, password is 123. If I log in, it is displaying me as welcome Akhil. I hope it is clear. Very simple. Now I will just copy this. I will just go back, refresh. Have I logged in as of now? We'll do one thing. I will close off this. As of now, if I rerun, can you tell me, is the session empty or will session have some data? Will the session have some data or will it be empty? I haven't logged in. If I did not log in, session will be empty. If I go into that empty session, if I try to get a user object, get the name of it and display, what will I get? Will I get error? Error I will not get, sir. Null I will get, because advanced Java it will not give me error. Null pointer, null values is what it will give me. So you can see here, I will not enter email ID password. I want to bypass this login. Whatever this login process you have, I want to bypass this. What will you do, sir? I will directly enter home.js. Can you see it? I told HTTP localhost 8080 food app home.jsp I want to go. Tell me, Facebook, if you try to directly go to home.jsp, will it allow? It will tell, hey user, you are not logged in, first log in. But my application, very good, it will allow. It's not allowing, here it is giving me an error. Right? Sir, why is it giving me this error, sir? Read the exception. Where is this exception? What is the root cause? Cannot invoke user.getUsername because user is null. Why? That is what I told you. User is not set into the session. I am saying session.get attribute of user. I will be getting it as null. Null.getUsername. How will I get it? I hope you are able to understand this. But do you want it like this? Sir, if user is not logged in, I want to tell, boss, you are not logged in. I don't want error. I want to display saying you are not logged in. Are you able to understand this? Hello? Tell me, when will you understand if the user is logged in or no? When will you understand if the user is logged in or no? Sir, whatever this user I have, if this user is not null, then user has logged in, sir. Will you agree with me? What I will do, I just want you to observe here. Whatever I have here, I will just cut this. I will start one scriptlet attack where I will say if what? I will say here as if u not equal to null. What does it mean if u not equal to null? There is some user object is not null. If user object is not null, then what you should do? Hello? You need to display this, sir, very simple. Welcome, etc., etc., etc. What if user object is null? User not logged in, I should display. For that, I will come down. I will write one scriptlet tag. I will say else. So if condition, I will maybe start this if condition here, and I will close this if condition here. See, I do understand, it is kind of confusing. If has started here, if is closing here. In the same way, else I will start here. I will simply copy, or maybe I will write it here. H1 tag I will write. I will say user not logged in, and then I will close my else part. Why is it giving me a problem? ELSC, correct, no? Okay. So very simple, I have told here, this is a closure for the if block. Immediately else I have started within the same scriptlet. So once I do that, you can see here. Now I will say user not logged in. Below this, if you want, you can redirect by saying ahref is equals to login.jsp, right? Login.jsp. I will write here as closure for an anchor tag. Click here to login. Can I do this? Now if the user is logged in, it will display the name of the user. If the user is not logged in, it is going to display me. Click here to login. Can I try it? I'll go to my login.jsp, run my code. Okay, sorry. I'll go to email. I will enter Akhil, or maybe. Let me do one thing. Directly I will write here as home.jsp. Tell me, when I say directly home.jsp, does it mean I have logged in? I haven't logged in, sir. So if I now hit enter here, it is saying user not logged in, click here to log in. I will click here, I will enter the email ID, I will enter the password, I will log in. You can say welcome. Is this clear? Any confusion till here? Hello? Sure? Yes? So can you try this today? Replicate the same thing? Hello? See, I do understand, maybe you may need to rewatch it once or twice so that it will sink in completely. And also everything I did it step by step. First I displayed login, I displayed failure, success, everything. Then I showed home.jsp. In home.jsp I told welcome. Then only name I put into the session. Only name I displayed. Then I put user object, took the user object. From the user object I brought the name and displayed. Then I told what if user is null. So then I put in this if and else blocks. So one thing you need to understand is where will the scriptlet begin, where will the scriptlet end. If you see here, why is this scriptlet ending here? You may have a question. Why will scriptlet end here, sir? Because immediately you have some HTML data to be displayed. Sir, why is scriptlet beginning here, sir? Because this is some data from the session or from the Java code that I want to display. Again, immediately I close the scriptlet here. In case, if you want, you cannot close it. You can close it only after the else block. This also you can do. You can write it like this also. This also is right. You have started the if condition. You displayed some information. Then close the if block. Else block you started. You close the scriptlet. Then displayed some user not logged in. click here to log in, and then you have closed the else block. I hope you are able to understand this. Any confusion here? Hello? So, see, one thing I want you to understand is going ahead, we will be writing code in JSPs because we need to deal with the data. When I say a project, it is not only, what do I say, static pages that I want. I want dynamic pages, dynamic application it is. So I will be dealing with JSP. Till now, whatever HTML file I have asked you to create, you need not worry. What are the HTML files I asked you to create till now? Login.html, register.html, add restaurant, add menu. These are HTML files which I have asked you. These files will never change. While the user is logged in, will you show him some feed page? Not needed, sir. For registration also, you will not show anything. So you can keep them as it is. Hello? But only thing I want you to do is, if the user is logged in, what should happen? I guess I have shown it to you completely here. Hello? So any confusion in this? So one additional thing that you have learnt is in JSP, how will I deal with object? How will I put an object? Import statement is something new that we have learned. See, all this, anyways in Monday's session I will re-repeat it. Because there are so many of your friends who are still not there, we have to do something similar. I will not do the same thing. I will do something similar where I will bring some data, display it on the JSP and all of it. But whatever I am doing in this session is specific to the project. I hope you are able to understand this. Right? So can you try this today? Yes. You can start trying this. Be quick. And anybody who has errors from previous code, you can do let me know.